Hello, everybody. Welcome to Supernatural Radio Network. This is your host for this hour, this day, Royce the Redneck Radio Man. And in a few minutes, I'm going to have us joined by Joanne Brockes. We're going to talk about her book, The Power of Angel Medicine. The Power of Angel Medicine. As usual, I'm checking in a few minutes early, make sure I don't have any problems getting in. Also, want to thank everybody out there who listens to the show and who supports me and's been sticking with me through my time in the hospital, actually in and out, in and out. Just now about roughly 6 weeks, 6.5 weeks hospital free. Seems like since I've gotten an air purifier, I haven't had to keep going back into the hospital. I've been able to stay home. So evidently it was something at home in the air I was breathing, a bacteria of some kind that the air purifier took care of. So hopefully I can become a lot more reliable like I used to be. Before I call our guest and add her to the show, let's see what we got coming up in the near future. It looks like this coming up Saturday, we're going to talk to Tamara Jacobs, and the topic's going to be your ultimate success plan. That's a promising one for those that want to be successful in everything they do. After that, my guest is going to be on July 25th, Michael Slack of Preppers and Patriots. And he's got a lot of various things going on. He's been working on this here, prepping people for end times or when food supplies out and water supplies out and things of that nature. But he's also going to start a new radio show. In fact, he tells me he's already got one at Blog Talk Radio. But this new one he wants to start is going to be about UFOs, cover-ups, conspiracies, all the good old stuff that we talk about on a regular basis here. And it tells me that he's already got Jim Mars lined up for an interview and Richard Dolan, so it sounds like he's on the right track. And that's all we got lined up for July. Having said that, however, let's see if I got anything for... No, actually, in August, I'm about booked up on my Thursdays, but none of my Saturdays or Mondays yet. I'd like to invite everybody to share this information with all your friends and all your networks, all your groups, and everywhere you can. You got friends that are interested in the kind of topics we talk about here. They may like to stop by and join us, and we can get a few people in the chat room live. It'd be nice to see people talking and asking questions and having a good time and, getting to make friends and that sort of thing. So please feel free to share the link. Matter of fact, let me get that link for you real quick, like. www.srnlive.com. And once you get to that page, that's the home page. Click up at the top where it says listen and chat live, and that'll take you into the chat room. The player's on the upper left corner in the chat room. If you want to open up the chat room, because once you're on the page, you don't see it right away. There's a little square icon toward the right that you click that'll drop the whole chat room. If you read the message at the top of the chat room, it'll instruct you, because also in some cases, when you first load the page, the text don't show right at first, and you have to refresh the page. But it'll show you that at the top, and it'll explain it to you. Also, it's got a visual aid to help you pick a nickname if you don't want to just go with Ghost 679, Ghost 464, or one of the automated generated names. You can select your own. It'll show you how to do it. All you have to do is copy and paste, and beyond the nick where it has Horatio Cornblower, fill in whatever you want in that spot. And it looks like we've got 5 minutes left. And I'm going to add the guest into this. I don't want dead airtime for 5 minutes, however. If you guys would like to email me at redneckradioman@comcast.net with any suggestions for topics for guests, you want to be a guest yourself, you got comments, ideas, it'll help me improve my show and, tailor it to everybody a little bit better without having to actually, bend on anything important there, like principles or anything like that. And I would appreciate all the feedback and all the participation I could get. A radio show is only as good as its listeners, if you ask me, in my opinion. Well, it takes a good host, too, but a good guest, but I'm sure you know what I mean by that. I mean, you can have good hosts and good guests, and if your listeners don't share the link, if they don't participate, and, you might as well not have a show. You're just out there talking to dead air. So listeners play a very important role, and you doing your share is very important to me. You guys listening over at YouTube, consider it a personal invite, and I'm even imploring you to join us over here at SRN Live and check us out in the chat room and try to catch the shows live and participate in the chat room. And by the way, I even have a call-in number for those that want to call in and ask questions. I'm not right now set up to you just listen in on the phone. I don't know how to set up for that, but if I find out, I'll see what I can do. In the meantime, my call-in number, however, is 832-632-7904. Now, I need to go ahead and bring today's guest into the show real quick, and we'll get started.
Hello?
Hello, Joanne.
Hi, Royce.
Hi. We're starting the show already. It's about 2 minutes early. I figured it was close enough for government work, and we're already live.
Brilliant. It's great to join you.
I'm glad you could be here. This is the first time I've heard of your book, The Power of Angels. That Power of Angels Medicine, isn't it? I think it's not showing up the whole book cover in your profile on Skype.
Well, you know what? I actually do have two books, and one is called The Power of Angels, so that's fine. And the other one, my recent one, is called The Power of Angel Medicine. So you've said the both there, Royce.
Well, see, I put a plug in for both your books then.
Yeah, and both by the same publishers, New Page Books, Korea Press.
Yeah, they do a lot of books over there at New Page. I mean, they've had Richard Dolan, Nick Redfern, Stanton Friedman. I've been doing shows for their guests, or their authors, for some 6-7 years now.
They've got really, really good authors and a wide selection of fascinating books. I'm so, delighted to be a part of their team. They just really look after their authors.
Yeah, they really do. And they look after the radio hosts, too.
Oh, great.
So, getting down to the brass tacks of everything, I usually like to have everybody introduce themselves, tell the listeners something about themselves and, what it was got them interested in their particular line.
Absolutely. Well, I've been fascinated and passionate with God's holy angels ever since I've been a young child. When I started school at a very young age, about the age of 3 and 4, at the end of each school night, we all used to put our chairs away and recite a beautiful angel prayer. I feel bad because I can't even remember my teacher, but I can remember the prayer because it was a beautiful angel prayer that touched my soul, that whenever I went to sleep at night, I also said the same prayer again. And I firmly believe that this is what started my divine connection, or kept open, I should say, my divine connection with God's holy angels, because every night on repeating this prayer and believing and knowing that they were surrounding and protecting me during my sleep, the angel, the angelic world, the celestial realm began to draw closer into my life. And I've been fascinated with angels ever since. And not only how they can assist us in our daily lives, but how they can help us in every single avenue if we only think to ask, because we have free will. And I've learned throughout all these years the right kind of prayers to use, what we need to do to ask. So it's been like a lifelong process of learning from a higher power how we can bring more of their assistance into our lives, so that we can co-create our lives at a more empowered position. So we have more spiritual power to create our dreams and desires.
Okay. Now, can you give us some idea exactly what angel medicine is?
Angel medicine is using the divine frequencies of a higher power. So there are 7 powerful frequencies of God's consciousness, and each of the 7 archangels carry this stream of God's consciousness via divine light. And if you can think of, a lot of people will be familiar then with Reiki and spiritual healing and other things like that, but all healing is carried through divine light. So the power of angel medicine is focused on working with God's holy angels, who bring the divine light of God directly into our nervous system, our cellular system, our mind, body, soul, and therefore into our life. So we can create changes within our physical health, and we can help to create changes of empowerment within our life.
Okay, so if I'm understanding this correctly, then angel medicine is, rather than pills like you get at the doctor, is energy medicine.
It is like, yes, and I would call it divine medicine, because energy medicine can be working, it's similar to Chinese medicine, working on the meridians. The book is a perfect mixture, because it includes both energy medicine and divine medicine. So I'm using real good techniques such as healing point acupressure, working with the chakras, working with the meridians, working with the body's aura. But then we're incorporating divine medicine by bringing very high frequencies from the archangels directly from the heart and mind of God. So it's a perfect mixture of energy medicine and divine medicine. And then obviously, if the person is also having medical help, they're working on their whole body then, because they're working on the body physically, spiritually, and energetically. And when we work on the body as a system of wholeness, that is when we're going to revitalize and heal.
Okay, now, do you have a website people can go to?
Yeah, I really do. It's full of divine healing articles, free healing articles for anybody who are interested in healing and the angels. It's JoanneBrocas.com. So BROCAS, JoanneBrocas.com. And on this website, you'll find plenty of information there about the angels, about healing, divine healing work, spiritual development, about manifesting. There are also plenty of online courses there and information to help you to maybe connect more with the angels.
Okay. Now, just out of my own personal curiosity, would you happen to be related to a man named Jacques Brocas, the author of Psychic Self-Defense?
Yeah, and you know what? I have to pass the message of hello to you, because Jock told me recently that he's been on your show twice, so he sends his regards.
So I take it he spoke highly of me then.
Yeah, he did. Otherwise, I wouldn't be coming on the show. He says you were great.
Oh, that was nice. May I ask what the relation is?
He's my husband.
Oh, you're his wife. Okay, I got you.
That's right. I'm his wife. I'm assuming he's spoken about me then.
Well, yeah, actually he has, and he's also shared with you your information on his website.
All right. Okay, great. Well, he definitely says a big hello from him.
Well, tell him I said hello too, and obviously I hadn't forgot about him.
I'm sure he'll be delighted to come back on your show in the future, Royce.
Oh yeah, well I can arrange that as soon as he's ready for it. I'm sure he still knows how to contact me. I think I got him on my Skype list if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So
I'll definitely pass on. He'll still have your details, but I'll definitely pass that on to him.
okay, that sounds good. And now that we get off the sidetracked at personal note, I took us down. Coming back to the book in general. Um, so this book is more or less a how-to, I guess, activate this angel medicine.
Yeah, it covers a variety of things about healing, about communicating and connecting with the angels. The main theme is to expand divine love of God within us, because when we want to create our own personal dreams and desires, and also to create greater health and well-being within our lives, the secret is to expand the love of God within us so that we express divine love to the world. And divine love is what empowers our creativity. So not only can we use this power to create our dreams and desires, but we can also increase in vitality. And when we increase in vitality, we instantly empower our immune system. It's like a boost to our immune system. So any problems that we have with illness, disease, aches and pains, our immune system becomes empowered to directly override work and take us out of that illness and that lower kind of vitality. We become more energized. We become we have more clarity of mind. We have less aches and pains. We become more joyful in spirit. Any lower forms of depression can leave us, because we are learning to align, to not align, but to realign, because we're always connected, but to realign with a higher power. Now, some people call this higher power God, Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit, as I do, and other people call it different names, because there is only the one higher power. It doesn't matter whatever you call the higher power, as long as you know that to realign with the higher power, it is always to follow divine truth and divine love.
Yeah, that's kind of like if you look back into the ancient world, um, the same God was over many different countries at the same time. And one country would know Enki, for example, as Enki. Another one would know him as Quetzalcoatl. I think it was the Sumerians knew him as Enki. The Mayans knew him as Quetzalcoatl. He had other names elsewhere as well. The point being, though, if he was located in one spot with one phone number, no matter what they called him, it was still the same person. He was still at the same phone number, in other words.
That's right. That's right. There's just the one God, and we're all connected to this one. That's through a tapestry of divine light. It's like a web of divine light across our world. And we're all connected because we're all birthed from Prime Creator. I was reading about the Sumerians the other day and about Enki as well. And that's fascinating. But even though that they say this was the God of, through the world there will still be Prime Creator, and all of these some people would say gods, the ancient astronauts would say, to do with the ancient alien theory, the ancient astronauts, they would say they were alien visitors rather than gods. I find that fascinating as well. But there's only one Prime Creator, and any lower level spirits then that have been recognized maybe by gods, by our civilization from ancient times, because anything coming from the sky we would have assumed were gods. We then, there is still the one Prime Creator, and everybody would have come from the one Prime Creator. But like I said, we all associate that with different names depending on what culture we're born into.
Which is exactly the point I was making a minute ago when I brought it up.
Yeah.
Now, I realize that Enki is not our supreme creator. Our supreme creator, the Native Americans know as the Great Spirit, but it's the overall, power, consciousness, awareness of creation itself that's our ultimate, creator. And this is the source that everybody goes to for what they want, or to the channels that this creator has set out for us, which I think your book goes into detail about. Is that correct?
Yeah, I find it absolutely fascinating, because even with, like you said, the Great Spirit, divine source, prime creator. The archangels are also, there's angels practically within every major religion of the world. They might be called different names, but absolutely, they're all bringing through the same divine power in unique ways. And my book goes into more connected with the archangels and the frequencies from the higher power, but delivering it down. So it's like we're receiving a download of light and power for our soul, and we receive this. Everybody receives this daily anyway throughout their life, because we're always sustained by life force, vitality, divine light. Otherwise our physical bodies would cease to exist. But what happens with what I've put in my book is that when you actually ask and petition a higher power for specific help, you receive more of this divine light, or you receive the exact frequency that you need. And my book goes into more detail about how you can use it in specific ways to really help you because everybody's individual and unique. Some people have got issues with their health. Other people would have issues in the psychological aspect of themselves, or emotionally, or spiritually. So the book deals with those aspects.
Okay, now I got to ask you this here out of my own personal curiosity. How does this angel medicine work with somebody that's, say, in the last stages of COPD?
COPD.
Like emphysema?
Oh, emphysema. So absolutely to do with the breathing. That's the breathing condition, isn't it? The emphysema.
Yes.
The lungs. Well, what happens is, and do you mean in the last stages, as in they are about to, pass over? Do you mean that?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, angel medicine will work on the cellular system there to help calm the nervous system, because there will be fear of death. There will be fear of release. Even though we might not consciously admit that we're fearful, or we feel we're not, there will be subconscious fear, unconscious fear of leaving our physical body. But what the angel medicine will do, so let's say Archangel Chamuel works with the lungs, works with the heart chakra, works with the physical heart. So we could use the angel medicine of Archangel Chamuel to bring in the pink divine light frequency into the lungs, into the heart, into the bloodstream, into the circulation stream. And even though it's not going to, if somebody's about to pass and they're meant to cross over, even though it's not going to save their life, it will help to ease their pain, ease their fear, and it will help to calm them both spiritually and physically.
Now, has there been any cases where it did actually save their life by any chance?
Because, like I said,
yes, there might be cases that it can't, because you're listed to die anyway. But I'm talking about, are there any? Is this a standard rule, or are there exceptions to the rule?
No, it's definitely exceptions, and it's all down to our own free will. Do you know, Royce? A lot of people give up. They give up too soon, and unconsciously, a lot of people with healing, they tired. They unconsciously they fed up of their lives. And they give up. At an unconscious level, they give up. And no matter what we try to do through the medical profession or spiritually, it's up to them. The person is in control of their own soul and consciousness. So if they are at a bodily level where they are able to revitalize, and they decide that they want to live, or they decide that they really truly want to go for it and become well, they can use the angel medicine frequency along with their physical medical help and it will help them to heal. Absolutely, no doubt. But a lot, like I said, the majority of the time, a lot of people give up when they have a lot of pain, when they fed up with life, because life sometimes can be difficult and trying, and a lot of people go through adversity. And like I said, even though they might outwardly say they want to heal, their soul, their spirit might be suppressed, might be dimmed, withdrawn, and they have given up inside.
And with everything that's going on in the world today, I'm sure a lot of people are just fed up with having to live in a world like this.
That's right, and that's why the divine light frequency of Archangel Michael, one of the most famous or well-known angels worldwide, universal, is connected to the power, faith, and courage of God. So when we lose our faith and conviction, and when we're fed up with our lives, what we need to do is to call on the divine light of God for the blue divine light frequency to enter into our mind, body, and soul, because this extremely important and powerful frequency can help us to reconnect our faith. It can help to want to fight, want to overcome our adversities. It's all to do with free will and asking. There is so much help available to us, Royce, if we're only willing to ask. It's like a lot of people don't get because they don't ask. Angels honor and respect our free will. They will not step in and override our free will unless, for instance, maybe we were about to be involved in a fatal accident and it was now time to go. That's the only time they'll do that. And other than that, they will not override our free will. They respect our free will and work in alignment with our free will, because we are here to create our own lives, and we create our health in that way too.
Okay. Now, what kind of role would faith play in this?
Faith is so important, because if somebody's given up because they fed up with life, they fed up with struggling, they fed up with pain, even if they don't have faith, but they ask for the blue divine light frequency of Archangel Michael to try and reconnect, reestablish their faith, that is them reaching out to a higher power, and they will always be helped. So faith is really important, because our beliefs are totally controlling our thoughts, our feelings, our manifestations. What we believe, we receive. So faith will open the door to a divine power. It's like turning on the key of a car. It starts the engine, it starts the power. You need to reconnect with your faith. If you haven't got faith and you ask, that is you starting. You're actually saying, hey, I've got nothing to lose. I want to ask for some divine assistance here. And that's you starting with your faith. Excuse me.
Yeah, I know that really works in real life too, as well as in the spiritual realm. I mean, if a person honestly believes they can't do the thing, they're not going to be able to do it. I don't care how hard they try until they believe in themselves.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because our belief interferes with our physiology, and that means not only does it interfere with us on a physical level, our organs, our bodily systems, our breathing, our general health and well-being, but our belief interferes directly with what we want to do in our lives. So if we don't believe we're going to do something exactly like you just said, then we can, through our lack of belief, interfere with that. So the probability of that is going to be true for us, and it will work out that it didn't happen. Our belief is connected to our faith and to our expectation. But when we believe that there is a higher power who's willing to help us, so that we don't need to do it all on our own, we are joining forces with a power that is far greater than ourselves alone. Yes, we are a part of this divine power, but we are an individual, smaller aspect of this divine power. And when we reach out to a higher power who's greater than ourselves alone, then it's like we bring more light into our lives, and light equals power. So we light up, and we have more power to heal and to alter our beliefs, because our beliefs definitely interfere with our lives when they're false and limiting.
So, just to get your opinion on this here, because what I'm hearing here is coming across, or I'm perceiving, is you're using an actual, say, a targeted prayer for a targeted purpose. Do you suppose the reason prayers don't work in church so many times is because they're too general, for example?
Oh, do you know, I'm going to tell you now, Royce, that's the best question I've ever been asked, because that is the most important question. And that is spot on right. It's because they're too general. And I absolutely believe that when prayers are constructed and divinely designed correctly, and you specifically ask for what you need, then absolutely help will be given, because God wants to help us. And we, sometimes we just say, God, please help us, please help us, or please help me. And then we also hold the same conflicting belief that God doesn't exist, or God doesn't want to help me, or I don't deserve to be helped, and stuff like that. And then we interfere with that, with the prayer. But when we compose a specific prayer, it's so powerful that it bypasses those fears and it goes directly to the source, because angels are divine messengers, they're intermediaries between man and God. So when we pray from the heart and we pray in a specific way, our angels take our prayers straight to God and they deliver back God's answers to us and help to us, divine intervention to us in ways that will always be in alignment with our greater good. I've actually got a prayer book here that was given to me by the angels that will help any of your listeners to release fear that is both conscious and unconscious, that is interfering with what they truly desire or want for either their health or for their dreams and desires in their life. Would you like me to say
Sure.
this prayer? Okay, great. Now I'll say it slowly, because if they want to write it down, this prayer is really powerful. There's a gap here for them to put in what they want, either to have help with their health or to have help with a certain aspect of their life, for instance, like prosperity, like a new job, like to do with their love life. It's just to be whatever it is they desire and they're not attracting to themselves is because of fear. So this prayer is going to help to release the fear. So I'll say the prayer now.
Okay.
I am willing to release my fear, both conscious and unconscious, that is interfering with my heart's desire to, now you put in what you want. Some people, for instance, want to conceive a baby, and so you put in what you want there. I ask for the grace of God to help me release my fear with ease and grace. In Jesus' name, amen. It is done. Now, this prayer was given to me by the archangels. And if this is formed because I am in alignment with God, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit, other people might be in alignment with a different form of higher power, so they can change that to the way that they would want it. But the prayer is more important because it is helping you to consciously and unconsciously release interfering fears. It is so powerful, Royce, and it needs to be said at least once a day.
Okay, now do you have a copy of this prayer on your website?
I can put that up on my website. I absolutely will. There's a few different prayers on my website, but this one is specifically to do with releasing fear that interferes with people's health and their dreams. It's such an important prayer. It's part of my next brand new book, which I'm in the middle of writing now. However, I can definitely add this to my website for any of you listeners who want to go back and get this prayer from the website, because it will truly help them within their daily lives.
Okay, so your book here, the one we're talking about right now, does it also list, prayers that they can, use for certain purposes?
Oh, absolutely. There's different kinds of prayers in the book, not just to do with health, but again to do with co-creating, so joining forces with a higher power to co-create these specific dreams and desires, because a lot of people have so much talent and gifts ready to be used to help be a blessing to others, and they don't know how to receive the opportunities, the help, or the guidance to express these gifts and talents. And these prayers will unleash spiritual power and direction into their lives, so that they maybe led to the right people, or doors of opportunity open for them. What the angels do, they are brilliant at connecting people. They connect you to the right people who can help to serve that purpose, to maybe take them to the next level in their lives. Angels are multitasking, and they are not only healing experts, but they're experts in every specific moral genre and subject that's available for us to study on this earth. They're brilliant teachers. We just need to reach out to an higher power and ask them for specific help.
Okay. Um, yeah, I was just thinking about that, but you mentioned the word co-create, and I've heard this word used by a lot of authors over the years. And I was wondering if you would tell us what the word co-create means to you personally.
To me personally, it absolutely means that I am aligning with God and God's holy angels or the highest forces of divine light to create within the area of divine truth and divine love. So basically, instead of me trying to struggle and do like to write my book, instead of me thinking, oh, I'm out of flow, I really need to get back into the flow, I'm having trouble writing this book, and then I realized, wait a minute, I haven't prayed. So I pray, I ask God and God's holy angels to help inspire me to write this book for the greatest and highest good of humanity and the greatest and highest good of myself. Instantly, divine flow starts flowing through me. And that's just one example. But also, if I was maybe looking for, like when I was younger, maybe wanting to change jobs because I was a hairdresser, I would ask God and the angels to help me find the best hairdressing job for me, to help me use my gifts and talents, one that would be near where I lived. You again, you're making the prayer specific to what you want, and then you're asking the angels to help you, and that saves time without you needing to go around and maybe start jobs that are not going to be as fulfilling as what you'd hoped for. When you join with a higher power, that's joining forces. It's joining your soul with a higher divine force, and that's co-creating. You can create on your own, or you can co-create with a higher power. And I tell you now, co-creating with a higher power is far more powerful for you, and it'll save you time, money, and a lot of stress.
Yeah, it's also a lot less dangerous.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because I mean, our ego gets in the way a lot of the times, right? And our ego wants instant gratification, and sometimes that leads us down dangerous paths. So that leads us down paths where we can be financially manipulated, or we can, we're not wise to our higher self. We're not wise to our higher divine intuition, because we've not asked for any help and guidance. We've tried to do it all on our own. I'm not saying we fail a lot of the, all of the time, but a lot of the time it would have been in our best interest to have asked for the assistance of a higher power.
Yeah, that is true. But I was more specifically referring to situations where people actually create their lives consciously or unconsciously, because most people, they don't look at the end of the road. And without looking at the end of the road, you're creating your entire reality blindly, in other words.
Oh, that is absolutely true, because people have a tendency to sit on the fence when they don't believe in a higher power, and when they maybe don't believe in themselves, that they don't maybe believe in their own power to create their lives. They have a tendency to sit on the fence and wait for things to happen. So they're more like a leaf being blown in the wind here, there, and everywhere, without having any clear direction or understanding of their own divine authority to take charge of their life. So that they basically let life affect them instead of them affecting life. And it's time for us to stop waiting and to start creating, and to create our lives along with a higher power. Because when we co-create, we are going to be so amazed at what we can achieve within our lives. We really do now need to take our power back and know who we are in God. Know that we have a divine spark of God, that we are aligned with a source of power that is so great and is ready and willing to help us, instead of sitting on the fence waiting for something to happen. I used to call that the magic wand theory when I did readings years ago, because people would want to just, receive help without them taking their power and doing anything about it. They would just be, wishful thinking, or, dreaming that their life was going to change without them taking any action or realizing that they control their destiny. You're totally right about that. It's time now that people understand that they are more powerful than they realize.
Yeah, and they can find out that power to work for them or against them, and then they don't have to know how it's working or know how they're affecting it themselves for it to work. And, it seems to me, Joanne, like people who don't either create or co-create either one they're subject to everybody else's creations, and they're like their life is bounced around by life itself and other people's creations, so they're just kind of like well, they're getting table scraps, in other words.
You're so right, because people can become manipulated and controlled by others when they give their power away. And that means they don't trust in their own decisions. A lot of people will go to psychics because they're afraid to make their own decisions, when all they ever need to do is to go directly to God, right? And to trust in their own divine power. There's nothing wrong with psychics. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with psychics, but what I'm trying to say is they don't trust in their own power, so they need to go to somebody else to find out what they need to do next in their life. Where we need to start taking back our own power and trust in our own decisions, our own instinct. And the easiest way to do that is to ask for help, is to pray and ask for help. Because other than that, you're giving your power away to people that sometimes, not always, but sometimes will manipulate you and will maybe try and control you. There's a lot of relationships where instead of it being balanced, one partner is controlling the other because that person would have given them their power and allowed them to do so.
Okay, are you hearing well, actually, I don't hear it right now. I heard it a couple minutes ago. I would speak and I would hear myself in the headphones, so that's gone now. It's back to normal, so I guess it was just a temporary thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as having anything against psychics, you'd be a heck of a person being married to a psychic if you had anything against psychics.
Well, I'm psychic myself. In 2009, I was the nominated finalist for Best Female Medium in Wales in the UK. So, that's how my husband and I met many years ago in Aberdeen. But what I'm trying to say is, so I've kind of moved on from working in that area because I'm so passionate about healing and about the power of prayer and about us taking back our own power. To be able to say to God, I'm ready to make a difference in my life. I'm ready to get my direction from you. And if you do want me to maybe, because God will also guide you to experts on the earth plane that can help you, like counselors or advisors, or even if the right mortgage person, if you're after a house, it doesn't have to be, or the right medical doctor. He's going to guide you if you ask for help. It saves you a whole lot of time. But it's taking back your power, and rather than giving it to somebody else, it's getting it from a divine source.
Yeah. One of my old favorite sayings for what we're talking about is basically that you should create your own destiny before life seals your fate.
That's a brilliant saying. I love that. If it weren't your saying, I would write that in my book. That's a great saying, Royce. Honestly, you're totally true, because you really do need to do that. Otherwise, you are just going to be going in the direction that life is throwing in your face, and it's all connected to that person's beliefs as well. So if they really do believe that they don't deserve, and they really do believe that life is hard and life is a struggle because that's what they've previously seen and that's what they're going by, then that's all they're going to seem to attract and create for the rest of their life. They really do need to take charge and know that they are so much more powerful than that limiting belief. They have the most amazing divine source to help them connect, realign with this divine power, and to create whatever dreams and desires they have. Some people desire to be, most people desire to have prosperity, but there's a lot of lonely people who desire to find true love, and yet they feel they're never going to attract true love because they're too scared to get hurt. Maybe they've been really hurt in a relationship before, and they've blocked the energy frequency of their heart, because their heart will then repel love. They will keep love at bay because they're too fearful of experiencing heartbreak again. But the angels can help to heal all this. And what you do is, when you're working with prayer, you're also working to alter your consciousness. So it's like you're awakening. It's like you're spiritually evolving and growing. And as you do so, you're healing your body, and you're creating subtle shifts in your energy field. And there's changes and adjustments and corrections. And what you find is when that happens, you're freeing yourself from the effects of lack of trust and heartbreak, so that your heart is like a flower, and it blossoms and opens towards creating and attracting the right kind of love into your life. The same thing with prosperity, the same thing with careers, the same thing with spiritual knowledge and wisdom. While we're here on this earth, for the rest of our lives, we will be in the process of spiritual growth and evolution and ascension. We never stop learning. We're like an onion that needs to be peeled, and each layer reveals something else for us to learn and to address and to contemplate. And our beliefs change, our beliefs start to change, and they start to change towards being more positive, enlightening, loving. And it's surprising how much we change and grow over the years. But somebody who refuses to grow because of fear will constantly replay their past over and over again. And they are the ones then that will blame life and blame the world, rather than taking responsibility for their own creativity.
So what is it these people are afraid of exactly?
Can you repeat that, sorry?
What is it these people are afraid of when they're afraid to take responsibility for their own creation, like you're talking about?
Oh, yeah, sure.
What are they afraid of?
Yeah, there's a lot of different fears. Like, first of all, like I said, in connection with wanting to find somebody to love, they would be fearing getting let down, hurt, and maybe the person leaving them and repeating the heartbreak that they'd experienced before. That heartbreak was so overwhelming to their soul that they wouldn't want to re-experience it. So they would have that fear, which would kind of suppress and block and repel that connection into their lives. To do with prosperity, it could be to do with their beliefs that money is not, money is evil. It could be to do with the beliefs that they don't deserve money, so that they repel that. So it's also not just to do with fear, but limiting beliefs. Those are the two main things that impact our creativity: limiting beliefs and fear, deep-seated fear that is so deep it's in our cellular system, and it blocks the divine light within our soul. This is why when we ask for divine light of God, it enters into our cellular system, transmutes the darkness of the fear or the limiting beliefs, which runs throughout our entire body, not just our nervous system. It starts to transmute and change that. So the two most important things for us to use the power of prayer over is the changing of limiting beliefs, the correction of limiting beliefs, and the transmuting of our fear. And there's one thing that I'd like to mention that can really help with the transmuting of fear, deep-seated fear for the cellular system. And what I found amazing was the other day I was reading a healing book to do with Edgar Casey readings, who I find fascinating. And what really impressed me was whenever he offered solutions to, because he'd done loads of different cases and reading of diagnosis of people's medical conditions. And what I found totally fascinating was in a lot of the solutions he gave these people to help them heal, he actually suggested that they use the violet light frequency. And I was amazed. I had goosebumps on my arm, because Archangel Zadkiel is the one that is in charge of God's divine light frequency. And this violet ray, this violet light, is so powerful that it helps to transmute deep-seated fear and illness and disease within our physiology, our organs, our body, and our cellular system. And the fact that Edgar Casey was diagnosing people and then suggesting that this was to be used along with other medical things was absolutely confirmed it to me as well, about how powerful that divine light is. And all we need to do is I'll say this for your readers now, for anybody who is maybe going through an illness like cancer or has a lot of toxins in their body, because it doesn't have to be just physical toxins. It can be emotional toxins, okay, that we have collected from so many years of being emotionally hurt and repressed, and all this pain that we've kept inside of ourselves. This divine light, this violet divine light, is fantastic. It will also help. Now, Edgar Casey used this divine light, the violet ray, to help remove things like earthbound spirit attachments. This is how amazing it was, because a lot of people are influenced by lower earthbound spirits, and Archangel Michael is brilliant to help with the intervention of that. But the violet light will protect your energy system, and that's the one thing that you need to do. So all you need to do is to ask Archangel Zadkiel to receive the divine light frequency, the violet light, divine light frequency, into your body, soul, and cellular system to help transmute all low and destructive energies and emotional toxins and fear for your greatest and highest good. But there are specific prayers that I've already wrote about the divine light frequency. That's on my website, if anybody would want to check that out. But I totally recommend this the violet light. And if you use it daily, and especially if you suspect that you have any negative attachments to you, any psychic attack, any earthbound spirits, or anything to do with the effects of radiation, chemotherapy, illness, disease, depression, it is brilliant for that, and I thoroughly recommend it. But honestly, Royce, the Edgar Casey thing just totally confirmed that for me, and I was really amazed about that.
Okay. Now, I was thinking about this while you were talking. I began to realize the importance, when you have children, of instilling a good, healthy self-esteem. And by this now, I don't mean, oh, you're good, everything's all praiseworthy, or you're all bad. I think those are two extremes, in other words. But I think that there's a middle ground. And if you don't stick to the middle ground, what happens is your kid can either, if you're like too negative with their, esteem, they can end up like one of the people we were talking about that had these fears that get paralyzed and don't do so well in life. On the other hand, if you're too high on that self-esteem, they can end up too arrogant and have other problems as well.
You're so right, and I'm absolutely fascinated with angel medicine for children. That's one of my next online courses, and there has to be a balance of parenting, because to do with children, the best thing that you could ever teach them is that they have the power to create their own lives. They are good enough, and they have the power to create their own lives. But the best way that they can do this is to ask God for help, or to ask a higher power for help, or to ask God's holy angels for help. Because when you teach them at a very young age about angels, about God, about Jesus, about the divine light, then you are helping to guide them in the right, best direction for them. And one of the greatest things that we can do for our children is to pray that God's holy angels work within their lives and guide them within their lives. If they're going down a wrong path around the teenage years, if they're going along with the wrong crowd of people, if they are maybe going not studying, not following the path that they didn't originally desire to follow, then when you ask God to work within that child's life, that teenager's life, and you ask that teenagers, because you can talk to the guardian angel directly, because every single one of us is a guardian angel. When you ask their guardian angel to please watch over them and bring them back to the path of divine truth and divine love, then over time, it doesn't happen immediately, because remember, the child has very strong free will. But over time, the guardian angel keeps whispering gentle guidance, divine guidance into their consciousness, and eventually their free will reconnect with that, because they have protection around them, they have light around them. The best thing we can ever do for children is to pray for them and to teach children to pray for themselves, and that will guide their creativity. And it's better than trying to like you said, you can go too far one way. So the fact that you build a child up that they can be easily let down when they're not able to have the tools to handle anything in their lives when something goes wrong for them, because you've put them on that pedestal and built them up so much. There has to be a fine balance in line, and to do that is to teach them the power of prayer. It's absolutely fascinating. The angels and children fascinated me, absolutely fascinated me. Every one of them as a guardian angel.
Yeah, I've heard that before. You know, even the church teaches that.
Yeah, you're so right, because scripture and Jesus, in scripture, Jesus says that each child is a guardian angel, and people have asked me, well, what about the adults? Why doesn't he mention adults? Well, do you know why? Because every child who has a guardian angel, that angel stays with them for their entire life. So even when they grow up and they're adults, they have that same guardian angel. We have our guardian angels for life. God give us a guardian angel to guard, guide, and protect us throughout our lives. And millions of people believe in this, and yet billions of people do not know they have this angel to help them.
Now, let me ask you once again, do you by any chance, are you listening to this show while we're talking?
Am I No.
Okay.
I'm just like talking to you. I haven't got anything else around me. I can't hear any interference.
Maybe it's just on my end, then.
It's absolutely clear as a bell here.
All right. Well, we'll try to continue on the best we can, because we've only got like 15 minutes left.
Okay.
Wanted to ask you before it was too late, do you have any workshops?
Do I have any what? Sorry?
Workshops.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Royce. I do. At present, the workshops are starting in August, September. But at present, I have an online angel healing, angel medicine, self-healing. It is an 8-week self-healing course. It's one lesson per week for 8 weeks, and it totally goes into great aspects of self-healing, and it's also a great complement to the book, the Angel Medicine book, The Power of Angel Medicine. Each lesson will connect you with the angels, will teach specific energy medicine exercises and divine healing techniques, and it will help you to understand more about your own creative power. And I think lesson 4 is all about the manifesting, the divine manifesting. So yeah, that's available online, but I will be doing workshops in different areas. My first one will be in Orlando, Florida, and that is going to be at the end of August, September time. And that'll be posted on my website for anybody interested. But then I'll be going further south down towards Naples, towards Sarasota, Florida. And then I will be going over to North Carolina and to Asheville, and Tennessee, and that will be towards Christmas time. So I have got a few things set up, and it's all going to be posted online.
So you and Doc are here in America now.
Yeah, we are. We've been here 3.5 years. We totally love America. We do miss our family and friends, but because we live in Orlando, obviously we get so many visitors, people wanting to stay with us all the time, and we're delighted for that, because we do miss them. But yeah, we haven't had a chance to visit home yet, but we're hoping to visit the UK and Europe next year.
Yeah, I remember when Jock told me he was having trouble getting the paperwork together.
Yeah, and you know what? Again, we asked the angels and the higher power to help us, and we're here today.
Well, if it worked, that's what counts.
Yeah. Oh, I just want to let your wonderful listeners know that they can also ask their guardian angels for a sign, a specific sign, and our angels will actually bring us a sign of a white feather or several different signs to let them know that their divine presence is around them. And people are amazed when they receive this sign, and there's several different signs. The most universal sign is a white feather, because we all associate angels having wings, and whereas a lot of this is to do with the Renaissance art period, when there was beautiful pictures, paintings of angels with wings, and universally we've accepted angels with wings, with feathered wings. So they're happy to deliver us a white feather when we ask, hey, we can just send out a mental request, guardian angel, please give me a sign of your presence in my life. That's all the listener needs to do. And usually within either the same day of asking or within a few days, that person will find a white feather or a coloured feather some way. Other signs can be butterflies, it can be little birds, it can be you watch a film and there's a sign of an angel in the film, you turn on a song, it's about angels, somebody mentions angels to you or buys you an angel gift, or you come across a statue of angels. It's absolutely amazing, but you will intuitively know that the sign is for you because it's accompanied by a feeling of awe, of wonderment, and of divine love. So yeah, absolutely. If you ask the angel for a sign, you will be given a sign of their awareness, of their presence around you, a tangible sign. And that then gives people, it helps to ignite their faith for them to go on and maybe develop a closer connection to the angels.
Okay. Are there any other projects you want to let my listeners know about?
Wow. I'm absolutely excited about writing my next book, which is all about the divine power of prayer, the A to Z of angel prayers, and it includes prayers for every single life issue we can imagine, not just health, but life issue we can imagine. And it also shows about the angels who can help with this specific prayer. So it not only gives you a prayer, it gives you the angels that are best able to help you. And I just want to let you listeners know that the angels, they work in agreement with the will of God. So anytime we pray to God, the angels are going to be involved. Or anytime we ask the holy angels, God is always going to be involved with the prayers. They are like intermediaries, divine intermediaries. We do not worship angels in replace of a divine power, but they assist us with God's blessings and divine guidance and help in our life. So these prayers, even though it includes angels, it is connected and directed to a higher power to help us.
Now, how many books do you have total?
Well, I'm in the middle of writing my next book, which will be my 7th book. I have written previously, and it's with a publisher just now. It hasn't been released yet, but that's a little book called Elf the Christmas Angel, and it's for children. And I'm really excited. It's just a small book that helps to instill love and joy and just a feeling of belief within that child, what you talked about earlier. So that's just a little children's storybook, that is, but it's got a good moral kind of belief system with it. The other, thanks for asking about my books. My 2 angel books are with New Page Book, but I've also written 3 other books. And the first one won an award. It won the #1 award for in the Spiritual Connection Awards in Wales. And this is a spiritual and psychic development book, and it's called Feel the Vibes. And then I wrote about psychic children, my life as a psychic child. And then my next book is an ebook, and this book has sold thousands of copies around the world. I'm absolutely delighted, but not just in the UK and America, but also you're talking about Australia, Canada, Germany, France, Italy. I was absolutely amazed. A small healing book could do that. And it's only 15,000 words long, and it's called Healing Power for Beginners, and it's absolute bestseller. I was so delighted, but I know for sure that it was inspired by a divine power, as was my angel books.
So your books have been successful so far?
Yeah, but that's because I've always asked for help, and I've always prayed that the books be written for the greatest good of humanity. I've not, it's all to do with intention, Royce, as well. If people write books for the right reason, I was able to sign a brilliant publishing deal with New Page Books, and based on the fact that I have totally trusted and been led by God and a higher power to do so. Millions of people want to have publishing deals. A lot of them have to self-publish. So I'm telling you, if you ask for divine guidance and you have commitment, dedication, and you're willing to do the work involved, doors will open for you that have never been opened for you before.
I'd like to take advantage of this moment to mention to any listeners out there, whether it be here live or at YouTube later or the podcast version, that if you're an author and you're looking to get your book published, NewPage is a great place to go. The biggest majority of their authors do end up becoming bestsellers, in fact, and I think it's got to do with the fact that they do so much for their publishers. For example, they have another branch or kind of like a marketing firm called Warwick and Associates, who they send these authors to, that will take and make these promo kits for them, and they'll see to it they get on the air and other forms of promotional steps that will help ensure the sales of the book. And they're usually pretty selective about the material that they sell through there.
You're totally right. They're absolutely brilliant publishers. They really look after me. They're the best publishers I've ever had. I feel bad saying that because of my UK publishers, but they're the best publishers I've ever had. And I'm really grateful and honoured to be one of their authors. And let me tell you something. My husband, Jock, he told me I was going to sign with somebody by the name of Michael Pye, who is the editor, the Quizitations editor and of NewPage. Absolutely wonderful man. Jock told me his name 6 months before I signed with NewPage. When we shared our beautiful readings together, he actually told me in advance his name. And one day when I'd sent my manuscript in, and I was actually in Disney at the time. I had a phone call and I had an email through offering me a contract for my book, The Power of Angels, my pink book, which I think you've got as well, Royce, I'm not sure. And so that's how amazing not only my husband is, but the fact that the guardian angels and the angels were helping to work through Jock to reach me, to tell me that, it's all in hand and it's coming to you. And that was a brilliant sign for me.
Okay. Now, we got 3 minutes remaining, so I want to ask you real quick, do you have any last-minute thoughts for the listeners?
Well, for all of the listeners today, I just want you to know that there is hope, that there is love, and that there is power ready and waiting for you to tap into and for you to use in your life. Anything that you need and require, you can achieve and you will receive, all by and through the divine power of God's holy angels. There is nothing that you cannot overcome and achieve in your life. You can absolutely overcome anything that you think is impossible. It is just working on your beliefs, your limiting beliefs and your fears. I want to so much provide you the tools to do this, and it's nothing, and these tools are free. It's prayer, divine prayer. Everything you need to know is included in the book, The Power of Angel Medicine, not just to help your health, but to help your life. And that you really, it's going to help you to take charge of your own life. Your self-healing, you're taking charge of your own power. It's all about connecting to heaven.
Okay, that sounds good to me. Now, I want to let everybody know real quick, once again, I will be posting this to YouTube, and I want to let you know, Joanne, that I will be sending you a link to the YouTube version of this so you can share it if you like. And in fact, since you're a NewPage member, I'm going to probably send either NewPage or Warwick a copy of the link in case they want to put it up on your promo page.
Oh, that's perfect. And I'll absolutely be not only sharing it, Royce, it will be going on my website.
Now, do you have a Facebook profile that you'd like people to come visit you and say hi and friend you and stuff?
Yes, absolutely. It's Joanne Brokus, my Facebook page is. My personal page is Joanne Brokus Bestselling Author, or you can find me under Joanne Brokus. And I also have a Twitter at Joanne Brokus.
A Twitter. Matter of fact, I think you posted or shared my copy of the promo for this show on Twitter right before the show.
Yeah, I retweeted that, and I also added you.
I'll be honest with you. I never tweet anymore. I just forgot about them, and I guess I got it set up on automatic and didn't know I had it done.
Oh, really? Wow, that's so cool. Well, there you go. I've already added you. I retweeted it, and so did my publishers. So did New Page. That's how good they are. They retweeted it as well.
Oh wow, I was unaware of that. I wonder how many of my other shows they do that with. Probably all of them.
Oh yeah, they advertised. It's been advertised on Facebook today and Skype. So you're well advertised.
I was advertised on Skype today as well.
No, not Skype. Sorry, Facebook and Twitter.
Okay.
New Page did. New Page did, and then I retweeted the banner.
Okay. Yeah, they do tell me at Warwick that they do, send out promos on the actual show date. So, they do, like I said, they do everything in their power to help you out. With that, I'm going to go ahead and call this show a wrap. Folks, don't forget to come. Better watch how I said that. I'm not asking you to not come back now. Don't forget to come back and see me next Saturday. And I'll be interviewing Tamara Jacobs, Your Ultimate Success Plan. And in the meantime, enjoy what's left of the weekend, and we'll see you then. And don't forget to bring a friend. Bye-bye, everybody.